But let's go ahead and turn our attention to the PulseChain ecosystem now. And we do have, and it has moved. I mean, people might be like, why are we like at sack rate because Bitcoin's popping off like this? I mean, it has moved up from where it was. Don't forget. I mean, it was at like 4 zeros and a 4.2 just about a week and a half ago or something like that. So we have seen the ecosystem move up. Pulse is at 4 zeros and a 5.6. We got PulseX 4 zeros 3.2. Incentive token 219 right now. Hex is at 001885 and Ehex at pretty much 002. So
no, not 00. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Shoot, my bad. Yeah.
Don't scare people.
I wasn't ahead of myself. That would have been backwards actually for the main Hex. But yeah, Hex at almost 2 cents. So yeah, we have still seen things move up. I understand people are frustrated because they're seeing all the actions just happening with Bitcoin right now. But we are still seeing things move up. So what do you kind of make of where we're at with Pulse right now? Again, narrative-wise and with what's been going on over the last couple of weeks, obviously I'm talking about, I don't know if I'm still frozen or if that was real or what's going on here. But I'm talking about like the motion to dismiss hearing being like largely insanely bullish, all the things that we kind of heard come out of that. Trump gets elected, which is great for the entire industry, obviously. But yeah, what do you want to look at the chart of here, Ewok? I guess we should at least kind of look at Pulse, but where do you think we are here? Is there any remote chance of revisiting the lows again? I mean, I can't even imagine that happening at this rate, but what do you think about where we're at here?
I can't imagine it either. You know, obviously there's always a possibility that could go back to touch this 4.544 level. I think this is probably the last level of support to see first. If it busts through there, then it, you know, there's several layers that it could go down. Then the 4 zeros and a 4 would probably be the next stop. But no, I don't see, when you say revisit the lows, you know, you're talking down here in the quad 03 area. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think there's enough bullish sentiment out there that people are kind of looking to scoop up some things at some hefty prices and get good discounts. I just don't see it going that far unless there is, I never say never. There could always be a whale out there that just gets frustrated that it's not moving fast enough for them. And they decide to dump a big bag. Well, you know, that would be great. I mean, in terms of getting it for the discount, and not allowing them to see the ride up in price. You know, but I think at this point, most of the weekends have been washed out. I think most of the players that are in it from here do have some conviction, some long-term beliefs. And yeah, I mean, you know, other than the casual pullbacks, I don't see it going much lower than this 4.5 level, 4 zeros, 4.5. You know, we're at 5.5, you know, almost 5.6 now, 4.056. So yeah, I mean, I think we've experienced the worst of it. I was watching Axis on RH Max's show, and he laid the very first Ethereum chart up over this, and it looked really good. Like, I mean, you know, this is a completely different market now. There's so many more things out there, but it is following things fairly well. And from where we're at now and where it could go, you know, we could be back at SAC level, you know, in no time. It really would take that much to get there, because SAC level is 3 zeros and a 1, right? So I mean, it's not even all-time high levels when you're talking.
Oh, that'd be like 3x SAC rate, actually. Almost.
So I mean, you know, we only need a 2x from here to get back to SAC. We probably will bounce around that area a little bit. It's just one of those mental levels that we have to break through again. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of resistance. I think once those green candles get up there and start chopping, we get through there, it could take off pretty quickly. And yeah, I think this is 2.8 is the, so 2.8x of sack rate is our all-time high, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good here on the horizon. Like I said, I think we've seen the worst. Obviously we don't want to come back down and make a lower low. But if it does pull back in this range, again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's healthy. It keeps going as long as we're seeing some movement up, which I think we will.
Yeah, and actually, I asked you about returning to the lows. I mean, contrarily, up you went away from it, but yeah, just looking at where we're at right now, I mean, there's a lot of room to just continue to run up when it comes to Pulse. I mean, it seems very clear that we're gonna head up there pretty quick, and we talked about that, like that knee jerk thing that whenever it starts to move, you're really not going to have much of a chance anymore. So, I mean. I'm acting like every moment that we still get below sack right here, just funneling everything I can to the ecosystem, obviously. So let's look at the PulseX to Pulse ratio
This
here.
is the PulseX Pulse ratio. It's still looking good. It's still in an uptrend. Like it hasn't broken that uptrend in quite some time. I'm just checking through all the prices here, looking at them, like to kind of do it while we're streaming and take a look. This one's chopped around too. I mean, it's just lots of accumulation is what it's looking like to me, especially here on incentive. We don't have any of these big sellers anymore. I know there are some net sellers out there, the people that are just doing it to profit. They've provided liquidity just to sell, and we know there are some of those out there. You can tell by the the volumes increasing a little bit, not too much. And then as far as Hex goes, I think Hex is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of upswing. We've broken past this previous high here at the 1.9 zone. It did pull back a little bit, but I think this is another resistance level as of right now. It did break through it a little bit and then pull back. So I think once we can get out of this zone and take off, there's really no stopping until about 3 cents would be one of the last levels, and then that would be our all-time high for PHEX anyway. So yeah, no, things are looking good. The ratio is a little worrisome. We're almost at 9-1, which seems
worrisome or not worrisome.
not. I mean,
easy
I'm
to
not.
buy, kind of easy to buy Ehex here, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, most people won't, but
Yeah, I mean, it could take off a lot. It could close that ratio very quickly. I mean, a couple big buys. There isn't near as much liquidity, other than it's. I think we're down to just under $1 million worth on the sell wall from BankX. So
yeah,
just under $1 million. But this could just chop sideways for a while, and people are nervous about it. But we'll eat through it. I mean, I'm not too concerned. Once things start to really pick up on this side of things, I think we'll be okay.
I think so too. And I mean, not like it's been the main thing I'm DCAing into, but I've definitely been buying a little bit of Ehex every time I'm DCAing right now. So some people, I know that pisses them off, but that's exactly kind of why you want to buy it, I think. So,
right.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see that thing close a little bit. So, I mean, yeah, the ecosystem is definitely looking bullish. I mean, we have moved up, but yeah, to our points earlier, Bitcoin has kind of been the unicorn right now as things have gotten bullish after the election. Even Ethereum really hasn't charged forward yet. So we just got to wait for those things to kind of coalesce. And I think it's definitely going to happen. So